This is what happens when adults are really, really bad at adulting.
3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to bring you a story that is new, but maybe not so new. I know the news cycle today is extremely fast. This incident that you're about to view occurred back in September of 2022. The video footage, however, just became available recently. So what you're about to watch, and then we'll talk about it, at the conclusion, is about 12 minutes of an interaction with Charles Moore interacting with the Georgia State Patrol and the Spaulding County Sheriff's Department in Georgia. I'm going to let the video speak for itself. If you want to skip past the dash cam footage, that's about 12 minutes long, skip that, and then you can see my thoughts at the end of the video. But, watching it will give you a lot of perspective into what occurs. So here we go.
How we doing tonight?
All right, how you doing?
Good, got your license?
Why you pulling me over?
They're trying to evade me.
How do you think I'm trying to evade you? For what?
Let me get your license.
Why'd you pull me over?
Okay, I just told you why.
You said I was trying to evade you.
Yes.
Evade you from what?
Making turn after turn after turn when we just came.
Where am I going? You.
Let me get your license.
Come on. First of all, look. See this right here?
Okay.
Look.
Let me get your license.
You told me that I was evading you.
Yep.
What crime did I commit?
It's called a particular reason to suspect that crime is being committed, okay?
Right. What's the crime?
Okay.
What's the crime?
You evading me.
Evasion is not.
And I'm smelling alcohol now, so how much alcohol do you have?
Dude, I'm on my way home. I haven't had any alcohol.
I'm smelling it.
Okay. Well, what you smell is not a crime.
Okay. Let me see your license.
No. You said you were pulling me over because I was evading you. What crime did I commit?
Let me have your license, sir.
I'm not giving you that. I didn't commit a crime.
Go ahead and step out of the vehicle.
No. First of all, bro.
Go ahead and step out of the vehicle.
Call your supervisor, bro. And you don't have a cam on. We got cameras all on you. And I hope you know about this flag. I hope you know about this flag. Because right now, you about to be straight up viral. Straight up viral. One.
Go ahead and step out of the vehicle.
I'm not doing that. What crime did I commit?
Go and step out of the vehicle.
What crime did I commit? You have to articulate that, and also ask for your supervisor.
Okay, go and step out of the vehicle.
You have to articulate.
Sir,
you have to articulate what crime I committed.
433. Give me 1038. Nope, I haven't got his license to smell alcohol. He's saying you're refusing to give me a license, so. Okay, you got your license on you?
I'm waiting on the supervisor.
I don't need a supervisor. You got your license on you?
Waiting on the supervisor, please.
Are you gonna give me your license, yes or no?
Supervisor?
You can give me your license, yes or no?
Supervisor.
Yes or no?
Supervisor?
Okay. Okay, go in there and lock the door.
You can't do that.
If you don't do it, I'm gonna bust the window out.
You can't do that, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna give you about 5 seconds to open the door.
You swore an
oath. You got 5 seconds to open the door.
You swore an oath.
Hey, Glassberger.
Hold up, bro. Where's the supervisor?
Go ahead and open the door.
Cams on.
Go ahead and open the door.
Cams are on.
Go ahead and open the door.
Go ahead and get your supervisor, bro.
Go ahead and open the door.
You gotta get a supervisor when I make that.
Open the door.
Constitutional. That's
door.
why this
We're not playing games. Open the
door.
door.
Ask for a supervisor. Why am I not getting a supervisor?
Open the door.
You didn't articulate a crime that I committed.
Open the door.
What crime did I commit?
Last time.
What crime did I commit, bro? Yo, all right.
Open the door.
Yo, y'all can't do that. Get your supervisor. Hey, yo, man. What the fuck, bro?
Hold on, don't be 1080, 1080, 1080. Let me Mill Chase Court. Heading back towards Spaulding County's taking the lead. I'm still trying to catch up on them. Taking left on Garmin Road.
Clear left on
Still continuing on Garmin Road, going towards Ridge Road. I'm taking lead ball. Passing Edgewood Drive. Just ran a stop sign on Riverwood. I'm gonna be heading eastbound on Evo Road. 80 plus miles per hour. Coming up on White Path Drive. At Tipton Pit. Unsuccessful on first pit. Coming up on Abner Path. Taking a left onto Old Ranger Road.
Old Ranger Road.
It's going in the grass. Made contact, Paul. Going back towards Nebo.
We have it related on the phone. There's a vehicle.
There's the vehicle. Like it's on the ditch.
Well, we crossed over Nebo, now we're going to be on Waters Road. Coming up on Thunderbrook Drive. Coming up on Garmin Road again. So I'm going for the notes. You ran the stop sign at Evo Road, Waters Road. Just ran the stop sign at Garmin Road and Waters Road. Just ran the stoplight at Ridge Road and Garmin Road. on Bethel Church Road. Just ran the stop sign at that ship road. Just ran the stop sign at Sunbury Drive. All 2 miles, I'm back primary again. Coming up on Georgia 92, Paul. Spaulding about to attempt the pit. Miles an hour, Paul. Car's coming opposite direction. Trying to move the pit. Pit successful, pit successful. 52 en route. Going to get to 52 en route. Flip, car flipped in the ditch.
Now, after watching that, I'm going to segment this thing a little bit. So first, let's talk about Charles Moore. Here are the things that we do now know. One, he has a history of DUI and he was operating on a suspended license, per the last reports. There was also an open container of alcohol found inside the vehicle, in this incident. Now, if you go back to the dash cam footage, you can hear the deputy say that he detects an odor of alcohol, right? So it looks like that's true. Now, drinking and driving is already silly enough within itself. Now, drinking and driving with children in the car is just extra irresponsible. Now, speaking of the children in the car, there were two children in that vehicle. One is a young man whose name I don't know, and that is actually the child of Charles Moore. The other young man, Leading Boykins, was a family friend. So it looks like the parents of Leading trusted Charles to transport their child from point A to point B, which, Charles obviously was very irresponsible in doing. So that's how Leading was in the vehicle. Charles Moore deserves everything he gets for this incident. Everything. You can argue about if the police, should have done what they did, which we're going to talk about. You can argue about if he's a sovereign citizen, if they should have kept approaching him, if they should have broke the window out the car. You can argue it. That's fine. However, Charles is still an adult. You understand that there are children inside of your vehicle. Why would you run from the police with children inside of the vehicle? Not that you needed this little reminder, but at some point in the pursuit, when he tried to turn around in another residential area, the officer made contact with his vehicle to vehicle, which shows they were willing to use force to get you to stop. You still didn't stop. You got up to speeds of 100 miles an hour with two innocent children in the car, and you cost one of the kids their life. Even if the police aren't pursuing you, doing 100 miles an hour is extremely irresponsible with a child in the car, and you decide to do it with 2 children inside of the vehicle. Your son lived. Their son didn't. Now, I'm going to say that the parents look at this a little bit different than me. In one interview, the parents stated that Charles does bear some responsibility. And in another interview, they state that they want him released with no bail. I can't say that I would be that gracious. Now let's talk about the Georgia State Highway Patrol. You made contact with this vehicle. You requested backup. Cool. You get, three Spaulding County sheriffs to show up and back you up. So now I have 4 law enforcement officers standing around this vehicle that has 3 occupants. And what you're trying to say is that nobody could identify that at least the child in the front seat, which Spaulding County states they did see.
Bear in mind, this is 1 o'clock in the morning, it's dark, it's in the middle of the night, and so they were having trouble seeing who was in the vehicle. Obviously, they knew there were other individuals in the vehicle, but at night, it's hard to tell, ages, sexes, anything like that.
At least you didn't know that child was underage? I believe he was 14 years old. The kid in the back seat was 12. So nobody at the scene could identify that there were underage children in the vehicle. Okay. Charles Moore himself, during the police pursuit, now I believe one of the kids might have dialed 911 or he dialed 911. Either way, he was on the phone with the police dispatch. And in that, he stated kids were in the car, and you can hear that go across the airwaves.
Y'all gotta follow them off, man. Y'all gotta follow them off.
Sir, I've let them know what you're telling me, okay? There's already a supervisor en route, but in order to speak to that supervisor, you have to be stopped.
Okay, well, tell them to chill out, though. I got my kids with me, man.
I've already let them know that there are kids in the car, okay?
Oh, my God. Yo, they told me to my car, man.
He's telling me to tell them to slow down. I don't know how to respond to that.
Hello? 12:33, there are children in the car.
Sir,
Now, the debate will be whether that was communicated to the Spaulding County Sheriff's deputies and never relayed to the Georgia State Patrolman who actually performed the pit maneuver. Either way, there was knowledge and information to law enforcement that there were children inside the vehicle. So if you didn't, for whatever reason, notice that at the scene, you were told via 911 and the dispatcher, and that was sent out over the airwaves. Now, if there was a disconnect between the 2 agencies, we shall find out as the investigation continues. But Georgia's own policy states that one of the considerations before performing the pursuit immobilization technique is that you must consider if there are children present in the vehicle.
State patrol policy requires troopers to consider several factors, including whether children are in a car before performing such a move. The Boykins say it was clear children were in the car and believe Leedon would be alive today had troopers not performed a pit maneuver.
The pit was still performed. That cost the child their life. So I believe there's dual responsibility here. Now, Charles Moore is being held for murder. I got no argument there. He's being held for murder, along with DUI and a slew of other charges. The state patrolman was placed on administrative leave, and last report states he's back out on patrol. And I don't really know what's going to happen moving forward when it comes to the state patrolman. I do know that he also bears some responsibility in what occurred. So there is a duopoly here when it comes to a responsibility. Adults just not adulting very well. Charles had no right to put children in danger. No right. And regardless of what a pursuit policy says, you know there's a good chance if you run from the police, you're going to be chased. We just know that. I don't care what the policy says. You decided to run from the police. You knew they were going to chase you. You saw them chasing you, and you kept running with the kids in the car. And for the patrolman, you should identify who's in a vehicle you're making contact with. You got to call backup. You should identify who's in a vehicle, who you're making contact with. You got to know what you're dealing with. You guys didn't know that there were underage kids in that vehicle? Nobody identified that. Nobody could relay that information, although dispatch was informed of it and sent it out over the airwaves. Nobody. So I think that because of irresponsibility all across the board, we have a child that's dead. And I mean, that's just extremely unfortunate. We'll see what happens with this as more information comes out. If there are a lot of updates that come out, I will certainly post them. But for right now, this is just tragic. I do feel for Leading's parents. You know, they just trusted a family friend with their child, and their child never made it home. It's tragic. And that's all I got for this one. But what I would like to know from you, and I'm not saying that the parents are responsible at all. Maybe they didn't know. But what criteria do you have before you allow other adults to transport your children around? Do you ask a lot of questions about their driving history? Do you just trust them if you're friends? Like, what criteria do you guys have established for that? Other than that, man, please like, share, subscribe. Make sure you comment below. Go over to nootherchoice.com. Shop to your heart's content. We have swag over there. We have all kind of merch for your firearm needs. Shop over at the website. Look for training. We have training all across the country. So please go over, get in some classes with us, you know, learn with us. Let's all grow together. That being said, man, this is it's not a joyful video to make, but above all, remember, be prepared for when there is no other choice. I'll see you guys on the next one, man. Peace.